Here we might start seeing some differences between the cultures in our different nations, but one of the things that we have in the United States as an effect of neoliberal globalization is a deep cultural divide between those who feel connected to the world, global culture, cosmopolitanism, urban existence, who feel in some ways that they are Americans, but that they are also part of a world of music and language and art and work that is beyond the borders of the US, and also connected to it economically. And then those who I would call the middle of the country, you can say they're suburban, sometimes we call them ex-urban, but also rural, very alienated, deeply alienated from that aspect of contemporary culture, but also that aspect of what neoliberalism has done, which is break down barriers, move peoples through immigration all around the world and make us a much more mixed nation. And that's very threatening to those who feel terribly left behind. They're plummeting economically. They feel left behind socially and culturally. They feel disdained or ridiculed for their ways of life, their hobbies, their interests, their lack of education. And of course, Trumpism has cultivated that. And that reinforces that conservatism that rejects a more open world, a more diverse world, a changing world. It reinforces the idea that they can just have their white, suburban, closed lives, even leaving aside Christianity right now, and just have that and call that America and reject everything else. Let me just add this to our conversation. Neoliberalism devaluing education itself. And by that, I mean, it treats education as job training, not as enlightenment about humanity, the world, nature, culture, etc. It simply treats education as the way to develop your human capital. And that has been actualized by divesting from public education, higher education in particular, but also making our schools just much worse than they used to be. So that compounds the problem of a population, working class and middle class, that does not live in the urban centers, that doesn't know the world and doesn't want to know the world and feels very threatened by the world. And that compounds that conservatism and anti-intellectualism and xenophobia and all the rest.